Good morning, everybody. It's day 15, January the 30th. It's about 8 o'clock. We just left Tri-Knob Shelter and headed to the truck, which is about probably 16 miles away or so. So should be fairly easy walking. As you heard in that video, we got a hellacious rainstorm last night and windstorm. So the trail is pretty waterlogged, so it might slow me down a little bit. But other than that, should be a quick day. And if I make good enough time, maybe I can catch some of the ball game on the way home, as I'm having something to eat. So we'll check in with you guys a little bit later. This is the trail in some spots. Much better than yesterday. Millionaire son, it ain't me. Talk a little bit more about yesterday. I just didn't mention it in my wrap-up video just because I wanted to get done pretty quickly. Yesterday was absolutely miserable. Just rained all day, or I don't know if it was raining or just the condensation from the canopy. But there was just always getting pelted with something. It was kind of the choice of two evils. Do you put your rain jacket on and sweat and get wet that way? Or do you leave it off and get wet from the rain and maybe kind of chilly? So it was just a constant battle. But you need days like that in order to appreciate these kind of days. So this trail's been very easy so far today, so should be some easy mileage. And again, I can't thank and can't recommend the Lodge of Legends Hostel enough. Those people were awesome people. And you saw the picture of the donut. That's actually a tradition that they do for any hiker that stays there. They stop at this little donut place and treat them to donuts. So, and he said, eat as many as you want, and asked if I wanted coffee to drink or anything like that. He was just a great guy, great family, and I was glad to meet him. So, anyway, we'll check back in with you later.
Oh, they're red, white, and blue. But when the band plays Hail to the Chief, they point the cannon right in.
Here's what's left of an old helicopter pad. You can see the concrete. Beautiful spot for it.
Senator's son. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one. Some folks are born.
So right in there, let's see. Right there, that little area. That's the site of an old plane crash, like a military stunt plane or testing plane that crashed back in the 50s. So I would have walked right past it had it not been for my app that told me where it was. So
it ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one.
Well, this might be the last good view of the trip.
Some folks inherit star-spangled eyes. Oh, they will send you down to war. And when you ask them, how much should we give? They always answer more and more. It ain't me, it ain't me.
All right, so it's about 2:30. We are at the Little Pigeon River Bridge. You can see behind me. My truck is right over there if you can see that. So no more walking for me. 17 miles today from Tri-Corner Shelter. Right up there is I-40. So we'll get on that in just a second and start making our way home. So this was our final section for a little while. So we'll check in with you guys probably in a day or so, and I'll add some final thoughts on the trip itself. But for right now, I'm headed home. Check in with you guys later.
But when the band plays Hail to the Chief, they point the cannon.
All right, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. It's January the 1st. I got home yesterday. This hat was in my pack all week just in case I finished up late. So it did not fare very well. It's pretty, it's on its last legs. But I want to give a quick wrap up of the entire section. It's about 90 miles from Stokoe Gap to the end of the Smokies. The Smokies are kind of meaningful to me. Just we took some vacations there growing up, and close. Anytime I can get down to that area, always like to. But in terms of like section hiking or through hiking, it's kind of pain in the butt because they have a lot of rules that you have to abide by, and I understand the reasons for them, but you have to have permits for your itinerary, so you have to stay in the shelter that you say you're going to each night. I guess just so rangers can track where you are, and that park gets a lot of visitors that may not have as much backpacking experience as what they would like. So that's probably the reason for that permitting system. But there's also other rules, like you can't tent camp unless a shelter is full. So that really wasn't the case during this section, even though there was some shelters that were full around me. I never encountered one. So it's, from that standpoint, it's really great to have that section done, especially since, if I were to go again, maybe the next time in April, to where I have another break from work, that's when the through hiking bubble of 2020 will be coming through. So it will be a very, very different looking trail in terms of the amount of people that's been on it. So for those reasons, I was glad that the weather cooperated to where I could knock that out during the winter months. So, but anyway, again, great section. Glad it's over. Glad to be home, and happy 2020 to you all. And we will catch you down trail on the next adventure. Take care.